First of all, I would like to thank you for your participation on the celebration of 35-year UN Vietnam partnership and the 67th founding anniversary of the UN. What is your assessment of the partnership during the past decades?
Well, it's 35 years now since Vietnam became 149th member of the United Nations, and we've had a long partnership with Vietnam. United Nations, as you know, has always been supporting Vietnam and the people of Vietnam since our engagement with supporting the reconstruction of the country after the war ended. And at that time, the focus was more on helping with building the nation, building the country. And from there, we have been supporting in when Doi Moi was established and helping the government to build bridges with various other partners. So Doi Moi became almost like a gateway, and through United Nations, Vietnam could access many expertise, international advice, and I think it contributed in building partnerships and in creating more opportunities for Vietnam to access expertise.
While the deadline for MDG is 2015, what is your assessment of Vietnam's progress in achieving MDGs?
I think Vietnam is acknowledged by the whole world as a country which, in a very short period of time, has made significant progress and has achieved a tremendous turnaround in terms of reducing poverty from 59% to 14% now. It's an incredible achievement, and the achievements made by Vietnam in Millennium Development Goals was acknowledged in the General Assembly in 2010 by all the member states as one of the 6 countries in the world who has made an incredible progress both in absolute and in relative terms in reducing poverty and achieving Millennium Development Goals. So the progress has been remarkable. It has been very significant. But as we look ahead, we still have 2 more years to go in the deadline of MDGs, and there are 2 Millennium Development Goals which where Vietnam still needs to pay attention: HIV and the environmental sustainability.
As you have said, there are 2 goals that Vietnam lagging behind. Can you tell me more detail about the 2 goals and the causes and suggested solution?
So I think it will, hopefully in the next 2 years, it will adopt more comprehensive approach, more cost-effective approaches, and will work towards reducing the stigma against people suffering from HIV or people living with HIV. I think it is extremely important that the attitudes are also reformed in addition to the reform of laws and policies, so that there is acceptance for the rights of people living and suffering with HIV, and that they can live a life of dignity with the achievement of their own rights.
Yes.
And on MDG 7, which is environmental sustainability, is again a lot of progress has been made, but we still see some differences between provinces in terms of access to clean drinking water and proper sanitation, specifically in ethnic minorities or population living in remote areas. There are still disparities. And it's not only disparities when it comes to water and sanitation. We also see there are disparities in overall Millennium Development Goals.
What would you recommend for Vietnam to achieve all MDGs by 2015?
Well, I touched upon it. Is number one is more efforts to reduce disparities between provinces, because the progress at the province level is unequal, it's uneven. So all province should have the same level of progress, and all province should achieve all the Millennium Development Goals is a very important priority. Number two is to reduce inequalities. Inequalities between different groups of population. For example, the urban poor, unregistered migrants, ethnic minorities, gender inequalities, and more uniform approach to have all populations realize their aspirations, that all groups in Vietnam enjoy the same level of benefits and the same level of dignity and well-being. And number three is to pay focused attention on the MDGs that are still lagging behind, both nationally and provincially, which is the MDG 6 on HIV/AIDS and MDG 7 on environmental sustainability, but within environmental sustainability, the focus on access to drinking water and sanitation.
Thank you so much for joining with us today.